David, I leave it over to you. So you go through the solutions that we have.
Super. Yeah, so some of you or most of you are probably familiar with Dragon as a product. It's been around for some time. It's become the sort of go-to for speech recognition in the business environment. The traditional versions of Dragon have been obviously installed on a local machine. I've got some notes here up on the screen, so hopefully you're not too distracted by those. They're kind of for me and for you, I suppose, but hopefully about to explain what they mean. So over on the one side here, we've got the traditional version of Dragon, which is actually Dragon Group that I've got on my PC. And also available is the other version of this, which is Dragon Professional Individual. So these versions are stored on the PC. They're a download product. So you download them, install them, and they run on the local machine. The profile, and we'll come back to the profile and the unique profile and how that works with Dragon a bit later. That's actually stored on the computer. So in this scenario, the profile is on the PC and can only be accessed at the PC, or certainly that's the case with Dragon Professional Individual. With Dragon Professional Group, it's more of an enterprise solution in that the profile can then be stored on, let's say, a directory on a centralized server. So that can be accessible to you as you move from PC to PC around the office. However, you do still need to be connected to that server. So still slightly restrictive when we compare them to some of the new products. But essentially, it means that you can go onto any machine and access your voice profile, which means you'll be able to access things like your unique terminology and vocabulary, your auto text, your voice commands, and other parts of your voice profile which are contained within Dragon. So as I said, we will go into that a bit more detail about how that works. But yeah, most people have experienced or used Dragon as a locally installed software, whether it be sort of previous versions or even version now 15. It's a fantastic tool. It does what it says on the tin. It's really good for use, with in an office environment where you're at the same desk every day. It can be a fantastic tool. However, with the current circumstances as they are, and with a lot of people now working from home, obviously, there's been a need to move over to I suppose more cloud-based solutions, and that's where things like Dragon Professional Anywhere over here on the left of my screen, Dragon Professional Anywhere, Dragon Medical, and Dragon Legal come into play. So these are specific products for use within virtualized environments, so on thin clients and such like. So they're really good products if you are working in an environment where you're not at your PC. So you might be working from home and remotely logging into the office one day, and the next minute you might be in the office, and you can actually be on the move. So with the addition of DMO, which is the mobile application, and again, we will show you this, you can actually do your dictation on the move. So that's really the sort of the range of products that are available at the moment. In between, there are a number of products which fill the gap. With regard to medical, there are sort of more traditional installations where they're installed on the PC, and obviously we've got DP, so we've got DPI, DPG, DPM. For there's lots of different versions of Dragon, but essentially the three cloud-based products are really at the forefront of Nuance's product portfolio at the moment, and really are offering some great features and functionality in the current environment, and probably moving forward as software becomes more cloud-based and people step away from implementing software to the desktop in a more traditional style of implementation.
Playing jazz.
Playing jazz.
Smoothie.
Making smoothie.
Calendar.
No meetings today. Remember, dentist at 9:30.
Fire off.
Fire off.
Open door.
Door open.
And we're gonna do one more.
Oh, yeah. Open door.
Wrong voice command.
Open door.
Wrong voice command.
Open door.
Repeat that.
Open door.
I didn't understand that.
Please open door.
Play on the floor.
Get on the floor. Open the door.
Wrong voice command. Error.
Hey, William. With a rock. Open door. Open door. Open door. Higher.
Higher volume.
Higher.
Higher.
So yeah, a funny clip, which I'm sure some of us are familiar with the experiences we've had with our home devices. But my point being is that technology, such as speech recognition, requires not just financial investment, but actually an investment of time and time to train the users and time to get the software to a point where it achieves good working practice for the users. It's also key to implement the solutions which meet the requirements of the individuals. So there's no one size fits all. And this is something which is really quite well established within the healthcare. Or people within healthcare have managed to hit the nail on the head with this. And that's why I've got this little quote sort of down here on the screen, which is from Helen Balston. And again, it tells you that she's the Chief Nursing Information Officer at Cambridge University NHS Trust. And she said that technology has a great potential, but you need to get the human element right. Technology needs to add value and make a positive impact to what we do and how we do it. Without further ado, let's get into the products. So in front of me, I have on the left-hand side the cloud-based products. And first of all, if we just open up something like Dragon Professional Anywhere, and this is the go-to product for cloud-based speech recognition. The other two have more specific terminology. So if you are in healthcare, obviously you've got DMO, and if you're within the legal industry, then you've got DLA. And as Inez mentioned, they cover more specific terminology, Latin phrases, and most importantly, capitalization in the correct or on the words correctly as they should be. So it just saves a massive amount of time. So opened up software. As you can see, it kind of sits up here on the top right hand side. Some of you may be familiar with the traditional Dragon bar. It's a bit bigger. It's got some more options within it. But as this is the cloud-based solution, it's very much slimmed down, mainly due to the fact that the majority of the number crunching is going on the server. So a lot of this, a lot of the adaptation and the vocabulary adaptation is happening off the PC. So again, some advantages to that when you're working on a machine that's within a virtualized environment, taking stress away from obviously the server on premise, or taking stress away from a PC if you've got it running locally, which means you don't have to be concerned about what specification your computer is to actually run Dragon. So I've fired up Dragon. It's sat there waiting for me to do something. So I thought we'd just go through some of the obvious things within Dragon. And first of all, we're going to have a look at the unique terminology or the vocabulary. So if I go into Dragon and have a look at my own vocabulary, you'll notice that I've not done that a great deal, but I have added some things. So the other day I was having a chat with someone who's working within finance, and they were having problems with the word ISA. So we physically added the word ISA. And today, obviously, with Inez, I've had to add in Inez's name because, as she says, it can be a tricky one for programs to pick up. So I've added that manually. Now, where this really comes into play is for words or a number or a group of words such as Dragon Professional Anywhere. So I've added Dragon Professional Anywhere, and I have said that when I to trigger Dragon Professional Anywhere as a word, I will say DPA. So essentially, I've created an abbreviation of my own, and I can do this quite simply. So if I want to, I can go back, and if I just open up the vocabulary again, and I'll go and add a new word. So Dragon Legal. Let's go for Dragon Legal Anywhere, and that is a new product. Now I'm going to train that with the abbreviation DLA. So DLA. Now it's recognized that the pronunciation of the word is somewhat different to the word itself. So it's asking me to then add an additional form of recognition. So I'm going to add in the way that I've just said, that DLA, and I'm going to confirm. So now hopefully when I open up something like Microsoft Word, and I'll just create a new document. I'll just bring that over for you guys. And we'll just up the font size so you can see what we're doing. This is a demonstration of the Dragon Anywhere products, full stop, new paragraph. Hopefully we can use the word DLA to trigger the Dragon Legal Anywhere product, full stop. Cool. So I've used DLA and it's used Dragon, it's actually put it in with the caps as I wanted to see it. Again, there are other products that we use here within Speak-IT, such as new paragraph. We often send out demonstration requests for products such as Speech Live, Speech Exec, and other dictation solutions which aren't commonly found in the Dragon vocabulary, full stop. So again, some of these keywords that we use, Speech Live, Speech Exec, with the strange sort of capitals appearing halfway through the word, I physically added those into my vocabulary and can access them, whether it be on this machine or whether I log in on another PC. And in fact, if I want to, can log in on my mobile phone. In addition to that, what we've also got is auto text. So auto text is really useful if you've got a chunk of text and you want to trigger it with a single word. So for example, I'm going to send an email to Inez and invite her for a demonstration for today. So open Outlook, create new email, Inez, test demonstration, insert demo template, Inez. Send that. So hopefully you were able to follow that.
Yep, that was fab. That was
super. Good. It was that quick last time, you didn't even see it. So the beauty of it is that you can create your own. So if I go in and have a look at my auto text, this one I created this morning, I've just called it insert demo template. That's how it's triggered. And within the template, I've got some fields which are blank, and I can move through the fields and fill them in. Now I've only put one in there. So what I might do is just show you another one that's got a few more fields just whilst we're here. So if I go insert email template, David, next field, 12:30 p.m., next field, May the 21st, 2021. So you can see how I move through the fields and fill out the blanks. Now, what I can also do is where I've left Dragon Professional Anywhere within that field, I can also accept that as a default. So accept defaults. And it's accepted that default. So now we've got, hi, David, thanks for getting in touch, blah, blah, blah. Dragon Professional Anywhere, which is the product I had in there. Of course, I could have changed it. When I went to next field, I could have said Speech Live or another product that we do. And then I could have continued on and filled out the others. But I've left it as Dragon Professional Anywhere, and I've moved through the fields and I've accepted them. Now, I did that manually using my voice. You don't have to. You can use F keys. So insert email template. David, 12:30 p.m., May the 25th, 2021. Accept defaults. So I'm then using, tripped up there, I used my voice, didn't I, to accept defaults. But I'm using the function keys now. Instead of saying next field, I'm using a function key. And that can be really useful if you've got something like a speech mic or one of the Nuance equivalents, handheld microphones, to move and use the buttons to move through. So instead of saying next field, you're just going to whiz through and use the buttons. And that really comes down to user preference. Okay. So what I'd like to do is, I think now I've covered auto text enough that everyone can see what it is. what's unique with DPA, and this is something I think is really good, and it's anchoring the speech focus. Now, in traditional versions of Dragon, wherever you put your cursor, that's where you dictate. Now, that means if you then go and open up another program, or you open up something from your file explorer, you'll find that you'll start dictating into whatever it is that you've opened up, which isn't really that useful if you're trying to review a picture or a document. Perhaps you're looking at an Excel spreadsheet with some information in. DPA gets around this by having the anchor speech focus. You can trigger it with a hotkey, if you'd like, with a mouse stroke, or sorry, with a keystroke, or you can actually use a voice command. So I'm going to use a voice command. So hopefully you'll see what I mean when I try this. So anchor speech focus. Now I can utilize Dragon whilst opening up other applications such as my web browser, full stop, new paragraph. Hopefully, comma, you will see that it's a very useful tool when reviewing documents, comma, images, comma, and other important information which needs to be reviewed whilst utilizing Dragon, full stop. Okay, so back to my document now, having anchored the speech focus, the text is there. So I don't have to worry about the text following me around. I know that that document's being created in the background, regardless of what I'm doing with my mouse. So that's really nice feature, or is a really nice feature, I should say, in the later versions or the cloud-based solutions from Dragon. I can turn it off. So I'm going to turn it off now. Release speech focus. And I can trigger that also with an F key if I want to. And in here, I'll just quickly show you. Now I'm going to show you quickly some of these step-by-step commands. Some of you will be familiar with these if you've had Dragon in the traditional format, whereby you would say open Word, open Outlook, create new email, reply to that, attach a file, whatever that may be. These aren't standard in Dragon Anywhere or Dragon Legal or Medical Cloud editions. And there's reasons for that, technical reasons, which you can ask technical people, but not me. Now, but the reason is that obviously, you know, for the software to access your applications as standard would be difficult because they could be, it doesn't talk directly to your PC in that way. And to be honest with you, it's probably a good reason because security-wise would not be good at all. So we can create those ourselves. So if I want to say something like open Outlook, which I did, I can say create a new command, and I'm going to create an open application, a command that opens the application. So press new command, and I would say something like open Word. And I know that the step is that I want to open an application. Now, as long as I know where the application is, I can source it, I can put it in there, and then I can say, yes, I want it to start, and I want it to run as a minimized. So it comes up minimum, it doesn't come up at all. It runs minimized, or it runs maximized, or it just runs as a normal window. So that's obviously if you wanted to say open Outlook but not see it, then you could say minimized. And when you say open Outlook, nothing would happen, but you'd be in Outlook, if that makes sense.
I have a question, Dave. So
Yeah.
For me, for example, I'm not a technical person. When I started using Dragon, I needed a bit of help. Is that something that Speak-IT can help with regards to creating commands or templates for your organization?
Yeah, so within an organization, what we normally do is for this sort of software, we pilot these programs. So you may have a 5-user pilot, and throughout the 5-user pilot, we'll be there to, I suppose, hold your hand, create these things with you. So auto text, unique vocabulary, step-by-step commands. We'll work with you to get these things to how you want them to be. At the end of the pilot, once you then move on to implement the product to the company, what we can do is share those commands, share those vocabulary specifics. We can share everything that's within your unique profiles across the board on company level. So if you have auto text, that's something that everyone uses, we can share that so that when people say insert report 3, for example, everyone has access to insert report 3.
That's good.
Yeah. But as a rule, we will support you. I mean, this isn't the sort of product that we expect you to pick up off the shelf, install it and off you go. Because as we've seen in the video, it's not always the best practice to just have a go at things. Sometimes it's good to get some training to establish where you are with the product and how you want to use it moving forward.
Yeah, I just think it's really, apart from that, it's also positive that you know how to make the most of the product, because the better you know how to use it, the more beneficial will be for your organization. So me, that I am not a very techie person, I would need that, first introduction or onboarding to Dragon to make sure that you're making the most of it to get the best results for your business. Otherwise, there's no point of using Dragon. So hence me asking if that's something that you at Speak-IT could help with.
Certainly, yeah, and it definitely is, and that is part of the service we provide. And again, another reason why people look towards these cloud-based solutions is, like others available from Microsoft, for example, they come with a level of support and service. More so for Nuance, the products that they supply or provide come through the channel, through resellers like ourselves or certified partners, and we will work with you to make sure that the product works. And for the duration that you have that product as a subscription, we will work with you. And that's really one of the positives to come from things like more subscription-based or what they call software as a service, and definitely has been really well received by our existing clients.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer to a certain extent. We all know that Dragon works. We know that Dragon can help you in your business, can save you time, can save you money. But also, I think it's really important that all the Dragon users, including me, know that we can get that support if we need it, with regards to any glitch or anything with regards to a command from a document to a vocabulary. And it's really, I think it just gives you peace of mind knowing that you can always go back to your provider, Speak-IT in this case, and make sure that you're making the most of it. And also learn how to read the analytics, which I am sure you will go about it later on. And it's very important.
Definitely. So there's a couple of things left here, and one of which is another feature which is fairly unique to DPA or the cloud solutions, and that's the ability to integrate with third-party software. So I know there's a lot of people out there who either have their own CRM system, or they utilize a third-party application to store their documents, or there's lots of different ways that people work, and that's very individual to each business. However, with the latest version of Dragon Anywhere, which is what I've got here now, it's very simple and effective to create or to create dictation or to create text into a third-party application. For example, I'm currently looking at the webinar. I'm going to sign up to it. Might be a bit late, I think, because I think we're going to be missing this one. Starts at 11. So it's a third-party application. I wouldn't, in a normal scenario, be able to dictate into here. But with Dragon Anywhere, when I turn the microphone on, and let's just go for it. So we see what happens. I'm now going to begin to fill out this third-party form, full stop. Now you can see that the text hasn't gone directly in because it's unable to access the third-party application. However, it has automatically populated the text into a field within Dragon, which they call the dictation box. And to transfer across, I simply put my phone on silent, because that's really naughty, and I say, transfer text. Now I don't have to, again, use a voice command. I can transfer text using a hotkey. I think in this scenario, I've set mine as F5, but let's test that. Let's see if F5 works to enter the text into the third-party application, full stop. Perfect. So it's really nice and easy to start filling out forms without having to click around and move around too much. And it gives you peace of mind that within reason, pretty much anything you utilize within your business, you'll be able to dictate into and create text into, so long as there's somewhere for text to be placed.
And then going back to Dragon Anywhere Mobile.
Yes.
Can I dictate on my mobile if I am on the go or if I am a consultant, and then transfer that onto my Dragon directly on my laptop?
When you use Dragon on your mobile phone, you have access to the very same features, such as the vocabulary, the commands, and the auto text. So you can very simply create dictation within the application on your phone. Once you've done that, you can push it through, whether you want to save that internally. You might want to share that through something like OneDrive or Dropbox. You can do that. You can email it straight from the phone. Or you can just email it back to yourself as a text document ready to go.
Okay.
The main difference, sorry, and I know you're going to think, stop waffling on, but the main difference really between Siri and things like on the Android phone for speech recognition and Dragon is the fact that you've then got access to that unique profile. We haven't really touched much on the unique profile and how it works with the cloud solutions, but if you want to discuss more, then feel free to give me a call. I'll take you through all the essentially boring bits for some people about how adaptation is processed, how it works, how often it works, why it's so good, why it's so accurate, but all available from the mobile phone.
One more thing that I was going to say, Dave, thank you so much for all this and for showing us around.